All right, today we are diving into something really fascinating. It's a framework that offers more than just a new way of looking at things. It's basically a whole new map for reality. It's called spiral dynamics.
And to get our heads around this, we have to start with this quote. Order lurks in the chaos, a deeper chaos still lurks in the order. It sounds a bit like a riddle, right? But it perfectly captures what we're about to unpack. This idea that what looks like total chaos might actually have a hidden pattern, and that our perfectly ordered world might be hiding its own kind of chaos. So first things first, let's frame the core problem we're all facing. The source material has a great name for it, the Humpty Dumpty problem. I mean, you feel it, right? This sense that gridlock is everywhere. It feels like our leaders, our systems, they're all just playing catch-up with a world that's changing faster than ever. If you've ever felt that way, you are definitely not alone. It's the fundamental question of our time.
And this feeling leads to what the authors call the Humpty Dumpty effect. You know the rhyme, Humpty had a great fall? Well, it kind of feels like our world has too. And the real issue is that all our usual tools, all the king's horses and men, just aren't working anymore. They can't seem to put the pieces back together. Our old solutions just don't fit these new, incredibly complex problems.
So if the old fixes are broken, what's really going on? Well, here's a pretty radical idea. Maybe the chaos isn't just out there. Maybe it's in here. The reason everything feels so fragmented is because we are, quite literally, living in different worlds shaped by different minds.
And the key to unlocking this whole puzzle is a concept called a vMEME. Now hang on, this isn't just some belief or an opinion people have. You should think of a vMEME as a kind of psychosocial DNA. It's a deep organizing principle that structures how entire groups of people see everything. It shapes their values, their thinking, and their entire worldview. Okay, let's make this real. Look at the red worldview. Its core drive is all about power and impulse. It's about standing tall, demanding respect, and seeing life as a jungle where only the strong survive. Now, contrast that with the blue worldview. It's driven by order and truth. It believes a higher authority should rule, and that life has a clear purpose and a master plan. See how different those two realities are?
And it doesn't stop there. The orange worldview is driven by success and strategy. For orange, life is a game to be won, and competition is what makes us better. But then you have the green worldview, which is all about community and connection. It believes we should spread resources equally and discover our shared humanity. It's the clash between these totally different operating systems that creates so much of the conflict and gridlock we see every day.
So, we've got all these different worldviews bumping into each other. You might think it's just total random chaos, but it's not. Not at all. Let's pull back the curtain and see the elegant, hidden order behind it all.
And here's the absolute key insight of spiral dynamics. These systems don't just appear randomly. They emerge in a predictable sequence. As humanity's life conditions change, our technology, our environment, our social structures, the problems we face get more complex. And each new set of problems awakens a more complex way of thinking needed to solve them.
And here is that sequence, the first 6 major stages. It all starts with Beige, which is just pure survival instinct. But it's tough to survive alone, right? So that awakens Purple, the need for safety within a tribe. But the tribe can be constricting, which sparks the rise of egocentric Red, wanting to break free and assert its own power. Red's chaos, in turn, creates the need for Blue, which brings order and purpose through absolute rules. But that rigidity can stifle innovation, which ignites Orange's drive for individual achievement. And finally, the inequalities that Orange can create awaken Green's deep need for community, sensitivity, and belonging. You see? Each level emerges to solve the problems the last one created. It's a beautiful logic.
And check this out, there's another incredible pattern here. The spiral swings back and forth like a pendulum. You have the me systems, the warm colors like red and orange, which are all about expressing the self. Then it swings over to the we systems, the cool colors like purple, blue, and green, which are about sacrificing for the group. This constant push and pull between the individual and the collective is what drives the whole process forward.
But wait, the story doesn't end there with Green, not by a long shot. The founder of this theory, a psychologist named Claire Graves, saw something absolutely massive on the horizon, a truly momentous leap.
Yeah, as far back as the 70s, Graves saw that humanity was heading a wall. The global problems we were facing, problems created by all those previous stages, were becoming impossible to solve with the thinking of those stages. He wasn't just talking about the next color on the spiral. He was talking about a profound, once-in-an-epic shift in human consciousness.
And this brings us to probably the single biggest idea in the entire model.
The huge difference between first-tier and second-tier thinking. Everyone in the first tier, from beige all the way to green, is basically trapped in their own worldview. They think their way is the only right way. But second-tier thinking, starting with the yellow vMEME, is a total game changer. Why? Because for the first time, a level of consciousness can see the entire spiral. It gets that every single previous level was necessary and has value, but also has its limits.
So that jump from green to yellow, it's not just another step. It's a quantum leap. It's like a character in a play suddenly realizing they're on a stage and seeing the whole production, the lights, the script, the audience. Once you can see the whole system, your thinking is suddenly freed from all those lower-level fears and dogmas. It's a whole new ballgame.
Okay, so we have this incredible map of consciousness laid out before us, but what do we do with it? Let's bring this whole thing back down to earth.
I mean, it's a really cool theory, right? But what's the point? How does this map actually help you navigate your world, your job, your life?
Well, because this framework is an amazing lens for decoding the chaos. Think about political gridlock. Suddenly, it's not just left versus right. It's blue's need for tradition and order clashing with orange's drive for progress and profit, which is clashing with green's demand for equality. They're speaking different languages. You can use the same lens to understand generational conflicts, fights over corporate culture, even the dynamics with your boss or in your own family.
Ultimately, spiral dynamics gives us a map to understand why people do what they do. It's not about judging who's right or wrong or who's smarter. It's about understanding which thinking system is being activated by which life circumstances. It helps us see that people's values make perfect sense from where they're standing on the spiral.
And this is a journey that, well, it never really ends. As Clare Graves himself put it, every time we solve one set of human problems, we just find a new, more complex set waiting for us. The quest is truly never-ending.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. As our world gets more and more complex, as we face these global challenges that the first tier of thinking created but absolutely cannot solve, what kind of thinking will we need for the problems of tomorrow? What new level of consciousness will we have to awaken next?